Of course, on economic-related matters now, because in South Africa, where consumers are said to have optimistic about their financial features, having braved an economic roller coaster over the past few years. Now, according to research, highly indebted and lower-income South Africans have been forced to make difficult financial choices amid a cost-of-living crisis, but they have hoped their resilience to the difficult times will stand to them when economic conditions improve. And let's have more details of that in this report.
South African consumers took advantage of low interest rates during COVID to take loans. The strategy backfired when a string of shocks sent inflation, fuel and food prices rocketing and forced the Reserve Bank to aggressively hike rates.
I purchased my property about 3 years ago, and the cost of that's gone up by 8,000 Rand. Salaries don't rise by that amount. And then just the cost of an average basket of groceries, I've had to make a lot of cutbacks.
As you know, we're just coming out from the COVID now, when the petrol is going up and everything, and the food inflation it goes up. Now it's very difficult for us to survive. We spend most of the money on the food and the petrol.
Job losses also led to a further decline in disposable income. As a result, highly indebted consumers have been left struggling to meet their financial commitments.
Consumers in South Africa really prioritize the three key products, and that's vehicle finance, home loans and credit cards. But when it comes to retail products, they tend to bring down their priority on those. Despite the fact that some of these retail products are perceived as low priority, what happens is if you default on them, it does affect your consumer credit score.
Easing inflation halted the tightening cycle while also lifting the gloom. But despite this, South Africans still found creative ways to survive.
We saw 20% of consumers have actually started a side hustle of a business to supplement that household income. And that's largely due to the fact that income is not growing. So we are consumers, we go back to that single word that we always talk about, is that consumers are actually resilient.
What I'm seeing people do in order to support themselves as well, there's a lot of bartering that goes along. So I give you honey, you give me carrots, and we manage that way. So while we're not sure whether it's going to get better, and I really do pray that it does, we find creative ways of doing things.
Life is still more expensive than it was before the COVID-19 pandemic, especially for poorer consumers. But confidence is returning as the majority of households anticipate salary increases over the next year. Najma Abdirizak, CGTN.